I find myself immobilized at the beginning of my parents' driveway, witnessing a surreal ordeal unfold before my eyes. The local news van, equipped with a satellite dish, resembles an intruder on our family land. The cameraman tinkers with his setup while the reporter, a bottle blonde with an overly rehearsed grin, thrusts a microphone towards my younger sister. Beatrice exuberantly declares, 12 years, as her pearl earrings shimmer in the October light. It's a heartfelt endeavor, a dozen years spent crafting memories for our community. My hands clench into fists beside me. 12 years of my hard work. 12 years of my creativity. 12 years of my finances backing what began as a modest yard haunt and evolved into the most awaited Halloween event in the neighborhood. My son Benjamin pulls on my jacket sleeve. Mom, why is Aunt Beatrice talking about our haunted house like that? I look down at my 9-year-old, his sincere expression twisted with bewilderment. Next to him, 7-year-old Aria grips her sketchbook filled with monster illustrations she has made for this year's display. My children, the true creators, reduced to puzzled onlookers. Beatrice continues, this year will be our biggest yet. Her voice resonates across the lawn. I envision transforming the entire property. My vision. My vision. I feel the heat rush to my face, leaving me lightheaded. Come on, kids, I managed to say, my voice surprisingly composed despite the turmoil within me. Let's head inside. The garage door is ajar, revealing the organized chaos of Halloween preparations. My meticulous blueprints cover a folding table, held down by colorful paperweights. Boxes, marked in my handwriting, nearly reach the ceiling. In every available space are half-finished props, the enchanted forest creatures I had been sculpting during late-night hours after the kids were asleep. When did this become your haunted house, Beatrice? The question escapes me the moment my sister glides through the door, relieved to see the news crew has finally left. My mother emerges from the kitchen, dish towel in hand, her lips already forming that familiar line of disapproval. Don't start, Nalani. You know how much effort Beatrice puts into the publicity. Publicity? The term leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. You mean taking credit? Beatrice chuckles, the same light-hearted laugh she has cultivated since childhood whenever confronted with something uncomfortable. Oh, come on. The media prefers having one spokesperson. Nobody cares about who builds what. Nobody, except the one who stays up until 3 a.m. crafting animatronic woodland creatures. Nobody, except the person who spends her design commission checks on specialty fog machines and LED lights. I grasp the nearest box filled with moss I had collected and dried myself, my hands shaking as I begin to sort through its contents. My thoughts drift back to last October, when I had pushed through a fever to finalize the cemetery scene. Beatrice had shown up just 15 minutes before the event started, placed herself by the entrance, and posed for pictures while families came in. The community newspaper the following week read, Beatrice Gomez continues beloved Halloween tradition. Not a word of recognition for me. No mention of Benjamin and Aria, who had dedicated their weekends to painting tombstones. Mom? Benjamin's voice draws me back to reality. He stands tall, practicing the confident stance we worked on together. Can Aria and I be tour guides this year? We practiced, just like you showed us. A sense of pride swells in me. They had rehearsed their spooky narratives for weeks, complete with the dramatic pauses I instructed them to use. Before I can respond, my mother interrupts. Those roles are designated for Beatrice's children. They're more outgoing. She doesn't even glance at Benjamin as she arranges plastic pumpkins that I had carved and wired for lighting. But Jason and Mia don't even enjoy Halloween. Aria protests, her small voice trembling. They said it's for babies. My mother brushes it off. They're just being modest. They'll shine when they're in costume. I watch as disappointment washes over my children, their excitement deflating like wet tissue paper. They turn toward the kitchen door, their shoulders sagging in uniform rejection. We can still assist with the props, right? Benjamin asks, glancing back at me with a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Of course, I respond, forcing a smile. I need my best helpers. After they slip inside the house, Beatrice picks up my main blueprint, the central design for the enchanted forest path, examining it critically. This arch should be taller, she states, grabbing a pencil to make unauthorized adjustments. And we should swap these mushrooms for something more sophisticated, perhaps crystal formations? My father enters, bearing boxes of Halloween candy. Beatrice, the newspaper would like to know if you can do another interview tomorrow for a feature in their local heroes section. Great, she beams, setting aside my blueprint along with her revisions. I'll wear the green blazer. It looks fabulous in photographs. Phoebe, a change stirs within me as I observe my children through the kitchen window. They are seated at the table with their heads close, likely comforting one another after yet another setback. How frequently have they been overlooked, their efforts undervalued? How often have I permitted this, suppressing my discontent for the sake of family peace? I straighten my back, and a decision sharpens in my mind. Things need to shift, and I alone hold the power to initiate that change. The following day, the morning sun taunts me through the blinds as I find myself transfixed by my phone screen. The coffee beside my laptop grows cold, neglected, eager to announce the Halloween haunted house theme, Enchanted Forest. My vision materializes in 2 weeks. Beatrice's Facebook post has already garnered 73 likes, along with a flood of admiring comments. My thumb glides through the responses that twist my stomach with unease. You're so creative, Beatrice. Can't wait to see your latest creation. Your commitment to the community is truly inspiring. And there's Beatrice, responding to each compliment with graciousness. Thank you, it's a labor of love, and I can't wait to share it. Just wait till you see the mushroom grove. The mushroom grove, painstakingly crafted over 3 weekends from recycled materials, with Benjamin helping paint during afternoons he could have spent with friends. A new text notification slips down my screen. Beatrice, I've invited the mayor this time, make sure everything looks impeccable. No, please, avoid acknowledging that she's relying on my efforts, merely assuming I'll uphold her image, as always. I cautiously set my phone down, treating it like a fragile object. On the kitchen table, my checkbook ledger reveals the reality in stark detail. $3,200 spent this year on specialty lighting, weather-resistant fabrics, and custom foam shapes. My money. My design. My vision. Next to it lies the storage unit receipt, a record of 12 years of accumulated props and equipment, all under my name, since Beatrice lacks the space and you're so organized, Nalani. Benjamin enters the kitchen, his hair tousled from sleep, with Arya following closely, clutching her sketchbook. Their presence reassures the part of me on the verge of breaking. Morning, monsters. I pour cereal into bowls, striving to keep my tone cheerful. Ready for school? Is Aunt Beatrice taking control of our haunted house? Arya inquires, her 7-year-old insight piercing directly to the core. I pause, searching for appropriate words that won't sow discord within the family but also avert teaching them to accept being overlooked. The haunted house is for all of us. I finally declare. Sometimes Aunt Beatrice forgets that. But you're the one who creates everything, Benjamin asserts, his young face earnest. Grandma once even remarked when she thought I wasn't listening. She told Grandpa, thank goodness Nalani manages all the work while Beatrice takes the glory. The cereal spoon halts midway to my mouth. She said that? Benjamin nods, reaching for the milk. She didn't seem angry about it, just like it's how things should be. Just how things should be, the familiar refrain in the Gomez family narrative. The doorbell interrupts my thoughts. I find Mrs. Rodriguez on my doorstep, holding a basket of pan dulce in her weathered hands. For my favorite haunted house creators, she says, gesturing towards the children who've gathered behind me. I saw that interview yesterday. 12 years, Corita. She shakes her head, her silver hair shimmering in the morning light. I've seen you cultivate this tradition for years. Everyone in the neighborhood recognizes whose creativity animates it. A warm, yet unsettling feeling unfolds in my chest. How peculiar it is coming from someone outside my family. Thank you, I reply as I take the basket. Once the kids head off to school and Mrs. Rodriguez returns home, I collapse onto my couch, my laptop displaying my bank statements. 12 years of expenses highlighted in yellow. 12 years of designing, constructing, storing, and financing what has become my sister's local acclaim. My phone buzzes with a call from Zara. I noticed Beatrice's post, she states immediately, and I'm calling because I've had enough. We've all reached our limit watching this occur annually. It's complicated, I say tentatively. It isn't complicated. It's unjust. Allow me to help you confront them. And what should I do? My laughter sounds hollow even to me. Cancel the entire event just 2 weeks before Halloween? Disappoint the kids in the neighborhood? Or take back what's rightfully yours, she states plainly. Daniel mentioned something during the school pickup yesterday. He said the maintenance room at Oak Ridge Elementary is vacant until renovations start in November. A space for an alternative. An alternative. The term lingers in the atmosphere, both risky and exhilarating. That night, I head to my parents' home after finishing work. The garage door hangs open, exposing the usual chaos of Halloween preparations. Thankfully, no one is there yet, which is perfect. I know precisely what I need, the essential components that only I know how to set up correctly. The lighting control system, the handcrafted forest creatures, and the fog machine that requires just the right approach to prevent overheating. I efficiently pack them into my SUV, my heartbeat steady despite the inherent risk. This isn't stealing. These items are rightfully mine, bought with my own funds and crafted by my hands. The crunch of gravel signals my father's arrival as I shut the trunk. He steps out of his sedan, and confusion quickly turns to suspicion. What are you doing with Beatrice's things? He questions, hands on his hips. They're mine, Dad, I respond, my voice steadier than I anticipated. I purchased them with my money. His expression hardens into a familiar look of disappointment, one I've known since I was a child. You've always been so selfish. Why can't you support your sister? Guilt rises instinctively, only to ebb away like a retreating wave, leaving behind clarity. I've been there for her for 12 long years. The real question is, why hasn't anyone been there for me? I slide into the driver's seat without replying and drive off, watching his receding figure in the rearview mirror. My hands shake on the wheel, but my determination strengthens with each mile away from him. Something must change, and tonight, it indeed has. My phone has incessantly buzzed for 2 days. The family group chat is overwhelmed with a torrent of new messages, each one increasingly accusatory. Dad. Nalani, your mother is beside herself. Call her right away. Beatrice. I can't believe you would undermine a family tradition. Mom. The neighbors are wondering what happened to all the decorations. This is embarrassing. I turn my phone face down on the kitchen counter and take a deep breath. Through the sliding glass door, I observe Benjamin and Aria in our small backyard. They're marking off dimensions, with Aria holding her sketch pad while Benjamin uses orange survey flags from my design toolbox to mark spots. An hour later, the doorbell rings, sending my stomach plummeting. My mother stands at the front door, her expression a perfect mask of affronted dignity. She pushes past me into the living room without waiting for an invitation. How could you humiliate us like this? Her voice carries that particular tone she has honed over the years, one that makes me feel both 6 years old and 80 simultaneously. Hello to you too, Mom, I say, closing the door and straightening my posture. Beatrice has been crying all morning. She called the Williamses and the Parkers. They've been asking about the haunted house. The haunted house is fine, it's just been moved, I clarify. My mother raises her eyebrows almost to her hairline. To your tiny backyard? Please, Nalani, don't be absurd. Through the window, I see Benjamin showing Arya how to measure properly. My son's face glows with determination, a look I haven't seen since he tried to explain his monster guide script to his grandmother, only to have her dismiss it as nonsense. If you don't return everything immediately, my mother continues, pacing a tight circle in the living room, then family Thanksgiving is off limits for you. Christmas too. Your father and I can't support this kind of behavior. The threat hangs between us. For 12 years, these holiday ultimatums have been her ultimate leverage to bring me back in line. But something has changed. I open the sliding door. Kids, it's time for lunch. Their excited chatter fills the kitchen as they wash their hands and take their usual seats at the table. I set sandwiches in front of them, listening to their plans for the monster headquarters with a lightness in my heart that I thought was lost. Grandma, Arya cries, spotting my mother and rushing to hug her legs. My mom pats her head half-heartedly. Nalani, we need to talk about this in private. Whatever you have to say, you can share it in front of them, I reply while placing apple slices on their plates. They're involved, too. My mother's lips form a thin line. Very well. Your sister has proposed a compromise. Return the main pieces, and you can oversee the refreshments table. Confusion crosses Benjamin's expression. But Mom, we already measured the werewolf tunnel. It fits perfectly by the oak tree. And I drew all the signs for the forest path, Arya adds, a sandwich paused halfway to her mouth. My mother dismisses their concerns with a wave. Your cousins are already practicing their guide speeches. Jason is quite good. Jason claimed Halloween is for babies, Benjamin mutters, staring at his plate. I place my hand on his shoulder. We're not giving anything back, Mom. We're hosting our own event this year. This isn't just about you, Nalani. This is about family tradition. You're correct, I reply, meeting her gaze firmly. The focus lies on family and imparting the true meaning of that concept to my children. She departs in a whirlwind of slammed doors and regretful promises, while I head back to the backyard with my kids and a notepad. This small area presents obstacles that my parents' expansive property never faced, but my 12 years in interior design have equipped me to make the most of a confined space. What if we introduce a fog wall here? I quickly sketch as Benjamin and Arya look on. We could twist the pathway this way, giving the impression of double the space. Benjamin lights up at the idea, suggesting we hang glowing mushrooms from fishing line in the trees. We labor until dusk, crafting our alternate haunted forest. When I test our makeshift fog machine, constructed from a cooler and dry ice, the backyard becomes something magical. Arya races through the haze, arms wide, and for the first time in weeks, genuine laughter erupts from deep within me. 3 days later, I find myself at Rosario's Italian restaurant, across from my family, a place they've frequented for crisis meetings since my teenage years. The familiar aroma of garlic and tomato sauce fails to ease the tension in the air. Beatrice nervously taps her manicured nails against her glass. This situation has gone too far. The reporter arrives tomorrow, and half our displays are missing. Lowering her voice to a dramatic whisper, she states, "Return everything, or I'll expose that you ruined the tradition out of envy." My father solemnly agrees, "Your actions reflect badly on all of us, Nalani." I take a deliberate sip of water before retrieving my purse. From it, I pull out a thick folder, meticulously organized by year with color-coded tabs, containing receipts for every purchase since 2012. I slide the folder to the center of the table. Over $24,000 of my money has gone into what you refer to as family tradition. My mother barely acknowledges the documents. Family doesn't keep score, Nalani, she counters. Family also doesn't take advantage. The steadiness of my voice surprises me as I reply, I am not seeking repayment but rather respect for myself and my children. Beatrice rolls her eyes, exclaiming, "This is so typical of you. Everything always revolves around you." I firmly state, "No. It has revolved around everyone else for 12 years. That's the real issue. Just before my mother can respond, the check arrives, providing a welcome end to the standoff. Leaving the restaurant, a peculiar lightness washes over me, as if I've finally laid down a weight I had long forgotten I carried. Upon arriving home, I see Zara's blue sedan parked in front. She's in my driveway, instructing 3 men who are unloading folding tables from a truck. The drama department had these in storage, she explains, giving me a one-armed hug. Daniel convinced the principal to lend them for your event. Throughout the afternoon, more cars arrive, including parents from Benjamin's class and neighbors with whom I've exchanged little more than waves for years. Mrs. Rodriguez shows up with a tray of empanadas for the workers, her hands, though curved by arthritis, still able to create perfectly crimped edges. I've watched you build this tradition for years, Querida, she says, patting my cheek. It's about time you become the bruja in charge. By sunset, the change is astounding. Daniel has achieved permission for guests to park on the side street. Lights strung through trees cast enigmatic shadows. A local garden shop has lent potted evergreens to enhance the forest vibe. Just as I secure the last strand of lights, my phone rings with Beatrice's name flashing on the screen. Her voice, tinged with hysteria, exclaims, "The reporter is coming tomorrow, and we're missing half the displays." What should I say? I observe a volunteer assisting Benjamin with his werewolf tunnel. "I'm sure you'll manage." "You've been claiming credit for years," I respond. Her gasp is audible. "You can't." At this moment, I hang up on my sister for the first time in our adult lives without offering an apology. The volunteers depart around 9, agreeing to return the next day for final touches. Alone on the back step amid half-finished props and twinkling lights, I feel the first significant chill of autumn in the air, hinting at perfect Halloween weather. A piece of paper flutters by my feet. I recognize Aria's distinct artistic style. 3 figures are depicted holding hands next to what resembles our backyard setup, labeled in careful second-grade lettering as Our Family Haunted House. Tears unexpectedly stream down my cheeks, but these aren't familiar tears of frustration or pain, they feel somehow cleansing. I pull my neglected journal from my bag and, under the gentle glow of the string lights, write, "For 12 years, I've been the family ghost, recognized only through my efforts, never seen for who I am." The following morning, I send a thoughtfully crafted invitation to a select group of neighbors. Daniel shares an announcement in the teacher's lounge regarding an alternative haunted house aimed at families seeking a milder experience than the typical Gomez event. We work out the safety protocols, organize parking, and set up refreshment stations. That evening, I tuck the kids in early, whispering, "Rest well, monster guides," as I kiss their foreheads and adjust their blankets. Tomorrow marks your big debut. Just as I'm about to doze off, my phone buzzes with a notification. The local newspaper's website has shared an update. The traditional Gomez haunted house has been canceled this year. Beneath the headline, Beatrice is quoted, stating, "We regret to announce the postponement of our annual event due to unforeseen family circumstances." I switch off my phone, a soft smile forming as I sink back into my pillows. Tomorrow brings its own set of challenges, but for now, this victory feels particularly sweet. The next day, the October air crackles against my skin as I finalize the last string of twinkling lights in the backyard. The once modest area has become a magical woodland maze, shaped by meticulously arranged piles of autumn leaves. Benjamin and Aria weave through the twisting paths, their homemade costumes shimmering softly in the light of the strategically positioned lanterns. "Is my mushroom hat straight?" Aria asks, pulling at the spotted cap I spent 3 nights crafting after the kids were asleep. "Perfect," I reply, adjusting it slightly, pride swelling in my chest. "Do you remember your line?" I ask, and Aria straightens up, suddenly appearing older than her 7 years. "Welcome to the enchanted forest. Follow the glowing mushrooms if you dare, but beware of the woodland spirits who inhabit this place." Her voice exudes an unexpected authority. A car door slams outside, followed by another. our first guests have arrived. Benjamin dashes to the entrance, welcoming the Thompson family with practiced friendliness. 2 more families follow, then Mrs. Rodriguez from across the street, leaning on her cane and glowing with excitement. The number of neighbors and school families steadily increases, forming a small line alongside my townhouse. Zara appears at my side. 23 people already, and we've only been open for 15 minutes. My phone vibrates with texts from parents inquiring about parking. This is truly happening. Then, I spot them. Beatrice's pearl earrings glimmer in the streetlight as she strides toward my front gate, flanked by our parents like protective sentinels. My mother's expression bears that all too familiar disapproving contour. Father looks uneasy but determined. Incoming, Zara whispers, stepping closer. They bypass the line and proceed straight to the entrance, where Benjamin diligently checks off names on his clipboard. My stomach churns as I move to block them. This is precisely why people perceive you as difficult, my mother whispers harshly, trying to keep her voice low. Several parents glance our way. Beatrice reaches for Benjamin's clipboard. We've come to help manage the crowd. I feel the old urge to yield, to appease, to maintain harmony start to bubble up within me. Yet, behind Beatrice, I see Aria guiding her first group through the leaf maze, her voice resonant and self-assured as she highlights the details we created together. My daughter's posture is poised, her movements lively. A fierce determination ignites in me. This is our event. The words flow out calmer than my emotions. You're welcome to join as guests. My mother's eyes widen in disbelief. Nalani, please be sensible. I am being sensible, I reply, my voice steady. The line starts there. Zara gracefully interjects between us, saying, "Let me show you where the visitors can wait their turn," indicating to the small queue. Beatrice's nostrils flare in frustration. After everything we've done for you. Mom, Benjamin calls from the entrance, can I start my group now? We have 6 people ready. I nod, heart swelling with pride, as my son leads his first tour group past our family confrontation, his head held high as he narrates the story behind the twisted tree we crafted from papier-mâché and wire. Beatrice's expression darkens, and she steps away but remains close enough to overhear the waiting families. Look at these amateur decorations, she proclaims loudly. You'd expect someone with design expertise to do better than dollar store props. A few parents exchange awkward glances. Mrs. Rodriguez, who has been waiting, strikes her cane against the ground and steps forward. I've been to both events for years, she declares, her voice ringing out despite her age. This one has always been Nalani's vision. Always. She locks eyes with Beatrice. I remember when your sister began this tradition. Where were you then, Nina? Several neighbors nod in agreement, and the Perkins family, who have lived on my street for 5 years, murmur their support. Beatrice's face flushes bright red. She abruptly turns, marching back toward the street. Father quickly follows her, while Mother hesitates, clearly conflicted about whether to support her favored child or maintain decorum. Mrs. Rodriguez, Eleanor, meets my mother with a measured politeness. Your granddaughter is providing an excellent tour. You really should listen to her, she states. Daniel, Benjamin's teacher, emerges from the side of the house. Without drawing attention, he subtly guides new families away from the uncomfortable situation at the entrance. A few moments later, the school principal arrives with a friendly smile, joining the line as if she is unaware of the unfolding family drama. 3 mothers from Aria's class create a protective semicircle around the area where children are decorating paper lanterns during the tours. Their chat flows easily, yet their positioning serves a purpose, forming a human shield between our family's turmoil and the children's happiness. Excuse me, a woman with a notepad says as she approaches. I'm Denise Williams from the community newsletter. I heard there's something special happening here tonight. I begin to respond, but Zara interjects first. You're looking at the mastermind behind both haunted house traditions, Nalani Gomez. She's been crafting Halloween experiences for 12 years. The reporter takes notes while glancing at the small crowd forming outside, waiting for their turn. Laughter resonates from somewhere within the maze as Aria delivers what seems to be the climactic reveal of her tour. My phone buzzes repeatedly. People are sharing your address online, Zara informs me, glancing at her own device. That Facebook moms group is directing everyone to come here instead. From the corner of the street, I observe Beatrice in a heated confrontation with a parking volunteer, a parent who had offered to help manage traffic. Her hands wave emphatically while father attempts to pull her away. You're siding with her, Beatrice's voice carries across the yard. Mother approaches the reporter, her smile forced yet professional. This is actually a tradition that started in Nalani's college apartment 12 years ago. Mrs. Rodriguez interjects, I recall because my grandson was the first child to experience it. One bedroom was transformed into a haunted forest. She pats my arm and adds, some visions take time to flourish, Verdad. Mother's smile wavers. She returns to where father stands, now physically separating Beatrice from the volunteer. Their united front has begun to fracture. The three of them now stand apart on the sidewalk. After a moment of evident hesitation, they disperse in different directions. Beatrice heads to her car, father follows after a moment's pause, and mother lingers briefly before finally walking away. Nalani? Benjamin appears at my side, visibly excited. Can we add more tours? People keep asking when the next one will start. Zara squeezes my shoulder. I'll get more cider warming. It looks like we'll need it. I watch my children navigate the space we've created together, their voices steady with newfound self-assurance. For the first time in 12 Halloweens, I no longer feel invisible. The night air is filled with the aroma of cinnamon, fallen leaves, and something else, possibility. The next morning, another text from Beatrice pings on my phone. I almost dismiss it, but curiosity prevails. We should merge efforts next year. 2 Gomez haunted houses would confuse everyone. I put my phone down to continue rinsing fake blood off a rubber mask in the kitchen sink. The red swirls away, symbolizing my feelings about her proposal. Having just celebrated a successful backyard haunted house, she's already scheming to reclaim my creation into her own. The phone rings. Mom. I let it go to voicemail, then listen as the water continues to run. Nalani, this has escalated. Family needs to present a united front. Call me back. Within an hour, Dad's email arrives with the subject line, moving forward. The message consists of 2 sentences. We should discuss properly continuing the Gomez family tradition. Your sister is willing to forgive and forget. Forgive what, exactly? My refusal to stay invisible? Throughout the day, the coordinated campaign persists. Cousin Jennifer texts that Thanksgiving will be very uncomfortable if peace isn't made. Uncle Edward mentions Dad's elevated blood pressure due to this unnecessary dispute. Aunt Sophia even calls to warn me that Beatrice is telling everyone I stole her idea. The landline rings, answered only by telemarketers and family friends. Mrs. Abernathy. Mom's bridge partner. Nalani. I've known you since you were little. This isn't like you to cause such a disturbance. I thank her for her concern and hang up, my hands shaking slightly. The collective disappointment weighs heavily on my chest. For 12 years, I have been the steady, reliable one, the person who never stirs the pot. In the late afternoon, I find myself in the backyard, filling trash bags with fallen leaves and bits of colored paper. A worn page from a script dances across the grass. I pick it up, recognizing Benjamin's neat handwriting from his tour guide notes. Some lines are crossed out, with corrections added in another hand. Benjamin, can you come here for a second? He appears at the back door, a chocolate milk mustache accentuating his uncertain expression. Did I do something wrong? No, sweetheart, I respond, holding up the script. I'm just curious about these changes. His gaze lowers to his shoes. Grandma said I was saying it incorrectly. When did she mention that? I ask. Last weekend, when you were out getting supplies. She came over to practice with us. I had no idea she had visited our home. The realization that she had corrected my children without my knowledge ignites a wave of anger within me. Was she harsh about it? I inquire. Benjamin shrugs. Not really. She just said people wouldn't get it the way I was saying it. He suddenly looks up, adding, but lots of people told me I did a great job last night. You absolutely did, I reassure him, pulling him into an embrace. You were wonderful. Later, after the children are asleep, I scroll through photos from the event. The images capture Benjamin animatedly gesturing toward a papier-mâché tree, surrounded by captivated children. Aria stands on a small platform, her witch hat slightly askew, explaining magical potions to a group of parents whose faces radiate with pride. One photo halts me in my tracks. It shows Mrs. Rodriguez speaking with another elderly neighbor while pointing toward the children. I now recall her comments. It's the first time I've seen your kids take center stage. It's about time someone acknowledged their talents. I hesitate over a text invitation from Beatrice for lunch, briefly entertaining the idea of agreeing, thinking it might create a compromise for the children's benefit. But these photos reveal what is truly best for them. I reply with a single word, when. 2 days later, I take a seat in a booth at Corelli's, a neutral venue for our gathering that neither of us frequent. Beatrice and Mom are already at the table, with Dad arriving just after me. They've positioned themselves on one side, leaving me isolated on the other side. The divide is unmistakable. Before I have even settled, I order appetizers for the table. Beatrice declares, I was thinking we could showcase the main haunted house at Mom and Dad's like we always do. But perhaps create a smaller children's activity area in your backyard. You're great with simpler things. I sip my water, allowing her to continue elaborating on the expanded plans for next year. Mom nods in approval while Dad seems unusually focused on his menu. When the calamari arrives, I wait for Beatrice to serve herself first, followed by Mom, then Dad. Old routines die hard. I'm not going to take part in the family event anymore, I say quietly, placing my fork down without taking a bite. Their heads snap up in unison. Before they can utter a word, I retrieve a folder from my bag and slide it across the table. Here are the expenses I've covered over the past 12 years. Here's the visitor count from both events last weekend. And here's what the community said about both. Nalini, nobody cares about paperwork, Mom dismisses with a wave. I care, I reply with a steady voice. Our backyard event will continue as a separate tradition. You can't just, Beatrice starts, but I interrupt. I already have. That Sunday, the local newspaper covers both Halloween events. The headline reads, Halloween Magic ×2 in Ridgefield. Benjamin is quoted about his spooky forest friends, and Aria explains how she personally designed the fairy mushroom path. The article highlights our event's welcoming family atmosphere and recognizes my 12 years of creative contributions to the community's Halloween traditions. I carefully fold the newspaper with plans to frame it. This attention won't last, Mom states when I decline Sunday dinner. People will forget by next year. I press the phone to my shoulder while stirring spaghetti sauce. That doesn't matter anymore. Then what does? Her irritation seeps through the line. I've realized something important, I reply. I've been teaching my children that their value relies on the approval of others. That's absurd. We've always supported them. They deserve better. I reduce the heat under the simmering sauce. I deserve better too. For the first time in my adult life, I end a call with my mother without waiting for her consent. 2 weeks later, an email notification pops up on my phone from the community center director, with a subject line about a Halloween event partnership proposal. The preview reads, We'd like to discuss the possibility of your leading a community-sponsored haunted house next year. My finger hovers over the reply button, a smile spreading across my face. I squint against the October sunlight pouring into the community center parking lot. A year has passed, yet the transformation feels monumental. Mrs. Gomez, where should we hang these lanterns? A teenage volunteer presents illuminated mushroom-shaped lights, their wireframes encased in semi-transparent paper. Follow Benjamin's map, I instruct, gesturing toward my son. At the age of 9, Benjamin had been reluctant and apologetic. Now, at 10, he stands confidently beside a folding table, proudly indicating marked spots on his self-drawn map. These will go along the willow path, he clarifies to a group of volunteers, and make sure they vary in height for the best effect. Nearby, Arya leads a group of younger children as they categorize small pumpkins into painting stations, carving tables, and display-only setups. Although just 8 years old, her authoritative voice commands attention. The small ones go here, she directs, pointing to a box labeled in her neat writing. Those are for the fairy gardens. A sense of warmth fills my heart as I observe them. There are no slumped shoulders, no hesitant glances, and no waiting for approval. Zara approaches, clipboard in hand. Channel 8 has just arrived, she informs, nodding toward the news van. The reporter would like 5 minutes with the organizer. Last year, such words would have caused my stomach to knot up. Let them know I'll meet them by the entrance arch in 10 minutes, I reply, adding, and ensure the parent committee is present as well. The director of the community center walks by, giving me a thumbs up. We're anticipating record attendance this year, he states. Your design team truly excelled. My design team consists of 5 local parents who have translated my sketches into reality while also contributing their own creative ideas. These individuals take pride in their work and appreciate the contributions of others. The news team sets up near the arched entryway, where a reporter in a red blazer adjusts her microphone. This is not Beatrice's favored reporter, it's a different person from another network. We're here with Nalani Gomez, the lead designer of the Community Halloween Festival, she begins, as the camera light turns red. This is your first year hosting at the community center. What prompted the change? I gesture toward the volunteers. This wasn't a decision I made on my own. Our committee aimed to create something that more families could enjoy. The parent volunteers assemble behind me, nodding in consensus. I introduce each of them by name, highlighting their contributions. When Benjamin and Arya come forward, I step aside. My brother and I helped design the spooky forest area, Arya tells the camera with confidence. Benjamin adds, we tested all the scare levels to ensure that younger kids won't be too frightened. The reporter smiles warmly. You've established quite a family tradition, she remarks. Community tradition, I gently correct. That's what truly makes it special. After the interview, I find myself in the very spot where I once froze, observing Beatrice claim my work. The anxiety that once knotted my insides has dissipated. In its place, a sense of contentment fills my chest as families begin to arrive. Mom. Arya's voice pierces through the bustling crowd. The mayor is here. My children run towards me, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Can we give him the tour? Benjamin asks, bouncing in place. We practiced the entire walkthrough yesterday. Absolutely, I reply. It's your section. They dash off to welcome the mayor, confidence emanating from their small figures. No one intervenes to overshadow their moment. No one dismisses their enthusiasm or doubts their abilities. Later, while seated on a bench as dusk transforms the festively decorated ground, I open the journal Zara gifted me at the beginning of our planning. My children have shown me what truly matters. I write that it is not about recognition or approval, but about collaboratively creating something significant. The affirmation I sought for years from family never filled the void, it finally came from within when I stood firm. A young mother approaches hesitantly, clutching her clipboard against her chest. Mrs. Gomez, may I ask for your advice, she inquires. My sister-in-law keeps taking credit for the fundraisers I coordinate for my daughter's school. Recognition flashes between us, the familiar strain of wanting to maintain peace while feeling invisible. Document everything, I suggest, shifting over so she can sit. Save receipts and take photos of yourself at work. And most importantly, I emphasize, ensuring she grasps the seriousness of what I'm about to say. Decide what message you send to your daughter when you remain quiet. Family harmony is essential, but the best legacy you can provide is to teach your children to value themselves. I watch as Benjamin leads the mayor past the intricate displays he helped create. That's the true family legacy. Family. As Thanksgiving approaches, gentle snow dusts the ground. My dining room table, rescued from a thrift store and refinished by hand, now extends to host friends, neighbors, and our small chosen family. There's no tension surrounding the turkey, nor any need to choose words carefully or tread lightly. Benjamin enters with a basket of rolls he helped bake, while Arya meticulously arranges her handmade place cards. Authentic laughter fills areas that were previously held in measured quiet. My phone vibrates with a message from Beatrice. Is there a family dinner at Mom's tomorrow? I hesitate, my fingers lingering above the screen. The instinctive, affirmative response that would have easily slipped from my lips, no matter our arrangements, now seems far away. We do have plans, yet we can swing by for dessert. I place the phone down and re-enter the festivities. Often, the most profound demonstration of family loyalty involves guiding the next generation towards a healthier form of love, characterized by respect, boundaries, and honesty.